Hey, here I am again in the woods, the Daily Woodie number 11. Yeah, the Daily Woodie number 11. And today, I slept until 11. Which should not even be physically possible for me. I have had, what do they call that, insomnia my entire life, and I don't sleep really late, so now I think I've gotten on 24. So, I don't know about you, I am constantly diagnosing myself now. I've actually had a very slight sore throat ever since I came back from India, but I've been back for a month now, so I'm pretty sure if I had anything, I'd be dead, and I'm pretty sure I'm not dead. Although I'm not absolutely positive because I haven't seen anyone now for 13 days. So, for all we know, this is the other side. The other side is a gorgeous park in the middle of New York City. What do we call it? The epicenter dump dump. I'm always going to do the music. I think it's important. So, editor canceled. My housekeeper wrote to me yesterday and said temporarily she can't work. And I was torn because my house is a disgusting sewer, and yet I don't want to die unless I am already. So, but now I don't have to feel guilty, so that's something. Edit is the best I've ever had. I've had so many cleaning people. One time I had this woman, her name was Joyce, and we got her through a friend. I had a roommate, Deb, at that point. Deb was my roommate for 17 years. I used to try to make jokes that we were common law, which would work now, but it didn't work back then because we were living in the dark ages where gay marriage was not legal. But anyway, somebody said, sent this woman, Joyce, and then the friend that recommended Joyce said that Joyce went back and said, those girls aren't going to catch any husbands. Well, at the time, I had a 6-foot blow-up Tyrannosaurus in the living room and a pterodactyl with an 8-foot wingspan hanging on the ceiling. I thought it was attractive, and I had these mannequins that my father turned into lamps, and I still have these mannequins. But one day I was in a bad mood, so I stabbed one in the heart with scissors and used red lipstick for blood. Maybe that's what made her think we weren't going to catch husbands. I can't do that now, though, because I don't have red lipstick. I love red lipstick, but I don't think it looks very good on me. And you know how Joyce left? Joyce, it was around Christmas, and she came and she was incredibly upset because the client she went to before for Christmas had given her a little crystal encrusted pig as a gift, and she felt so insulted. And I don't think it was an expensive crystal pig. It was just a crystal pig, and she felt terrible. And she talked about how much she wanted to go and visit her daughter, and I felt so incredibly guilty. Not that I had done it, but for her, you know what I mean? So I gave her $150, which in those days was actually more money than $150 is now. And I had to leave, so you know, I wished her the best. And when I came home, the apartment was filthy. She had apparently immediately left, and she left so fast that she left her dirty pantyhose hanging over the back of the chair. So that was an interesting Christmas gift. So Joyce, and I never heard from her again. She left me her underwear and never came back, which to this day I think is a strange thing. But today, well, sad. You can't really be sad. You can't really think about real life yet because it's too soon. It'll turn into a jailhouse count. But today, what I would have been posting on Facebook would be that standard picture of me at the airport because I was going to fly to Paris today. And, you know, who knows when I'll get to go again. But it's, you know, I love Paris. I love it so much. I don't even know why I love it. Because it's a big city like this city. Some people say Parisians are rude. I'm from New York. Stand back. They're lovely people. But the first time I ever went there, which was a very long time ago, it was 1993, and I had just gotten over the flu. Apparently, there's some kind of a through line here. Not that COVID-19 is the flu, but I was, you know, sick and snotty. But as soon, I fell madly in love with it. I went with a friend from college, and so he spent his time, I spent my time, and I did learn. Now, if you try to learn French, they're very nice. So that was my first attempt, and I learned how to say, puis-je avoir des éclairs? Can I have 2 eclairs? I never bothered to learn to ask for 1 eclair. I thought that would be a complete waste of my time. So I didn't. Every day I went into a patisserie and said, puis-je avoir des éclairs? And pretended I had a friend. Which is to say I have befriended myself, and I see no reason not to. It was just one day we took a train and we went to which is the closest I could come to the pronunciation. I saw it as Rouen, but Jeff, that's the friend I went with, had a Parisian friend, and he said, oh, you went to so, you know, I can't do a French OR, just don't even discuss it. But we were walking around this absolutely, it was a cathedral, but it was built in the 12th century. And there was something about being in the presence of that kind of time that doesn't even exist here, except possibly with this rock behind me. And we were walking around, and I know this is crazy, but I still, a little piece of me believes this happened. I was, you know, walking by myself, and all of a sudden I felt a tap, and I turned around, I looked down, I went, whoa! Because I saw a woman who was so freaking terrifying looking, little twisted gnome-like with scabs all over her face. I literally went, whoa! And I ran away because I was horrified. I'm not saying leprosy, although in India I did go by a medical facility for leprosy, so, you know, I've already been washing my hands, and I still have them, which feels like a miracle after that trip. However, I get about halfway around the cathedral, you know, the big thing there in the middle, and I think, first of all, that was very rude of me to scream and run from the incredibly scary gnome, and then I thought, she could be an enchantress. Because this is what enchantresses always do. They always come at you in some disgusting form, and then you do something horrible, and they get you for it. So I go over to Jeff, and I said, give me all your change. And I said, there's an enchantress on the other side. This is really true. I'm not making any of this up. I said, there's an enchantress on the other side, and I need to give her money because I was just rude. So he gives me all of his change. And in Europe and stuff, the change isn't just change. It's like, you know, that like $2 or $3 comes and goes. So I have all of this change, and I go over to the enchantress, and I go, you know, excuse me, pourquoi des éclairs? No, I didn't. That was all I knew in French. But I go, excuse me, and I give her, being very careful not to touch her. I really did. I'm sorry, but she was literally covered in weeping sores, and I gave her all my change, and you know, tried to be really nice and back away because I didn't want the enchantress to get me. And later that night, about 4 o'clock in the morning, in the Paris apartment, he'd done an apartment exchange, we got a phone call. Oh, and by the way, Jeff did not go over and be nice to that enchantress. He avoided her like there was something wrong with her. Well, that night at 4 o'clock in the morning, we got a phone call, and his mother had had a massive brainstem stroke. And to this day, I have wondered whether or not the enchantress had anything to do with it. I know that's very odd, but anyway, that's what we did, and we had to leave really fast. It was an apartment exchange. The woman had left dirty dishes, which I put in her clothing closet, and we had to leave so fast. I didn't get to put them back, but I don't think we needed to because Jeff had exchanged his apartment, and we came back to prune stains on the walls. Please God, let them be we're believing that they were prune stains. I can't think of it. He had to bring in a crew, so I don't feel guilty about putting the dishes in the sink. But I would have been in Paris. I would have gotten there, I think, just in time for a vin chaud. That's hot wine, hot mulled wine with like orange and a cinnamon stick. And I would have gone to Café Saint-Médard, which is one of my favorite places. It's on the edge of the Latin Quarter. And I would have been drinking hot wine, and I would have had the best croque monsieur that I've ever had in anywhere but in Paris. The best. So I'll be going back there one of these days, because one of these days this is all going to be over. And you know, my boyfriend, who doesn't know me, Andrew, this morning said that when the pressure is on is when you see what people are made of. He said, you crumble or grow. I say we grow. I say, I can't sit around and be unhappy. I'm 66, I don't have the time. So we're just gonna keep going, and I'm gonna get back to Paris. Oh, and I gotta call out new Woodie titles. Sabrina Rude is my Star Trek friend. Isn't that called? We're really Discovery friends. Now you say disco, but that makes me think of Donna Summer, you know, or is that Gloria Gaynor? All of them. So I'm glad you chose Star Trek friends. Sabrina Rude is my Star Trek friend. Marge Harrington is my Disturbed fan friend. Isn't that kind of cool? I think we're all going to start, we like you already, Marge. We really Disturbed fan. I think that's exciting. And Danielle Ponzio is my favorite stalker. I'm so excited. I have finally got a stalker. I feel like I've made it. I really have. I never really quite made it before, but now I've got a stalker. So that's exciting. And Christine Mollering, you want a title. I'm thinking I can do it because of what you've done with your life. Ooh, I gotta go. See you tomorrow. See you, if you like it, share it. I gotta go, bye.